All right, so we got most of the furring strips up, or to the point where we can start the siding. So I already got a little bit ahead of myself, getting excited to put some siding up, and put up about 6 or 7 sheets here. So these are 7 inches wide, and just gonna go through, put a nail on each of my furring strips. I have the closed cell foam backers just as some rigidity, so it doesn't want to wave, put any waves in it as you push on it, or the wind blows, or anything like that. And I mean, it will help insulation a little bit, but it's mostly just for a more rigid backer. So I just needed to trim around my AC connection here, and then we'll get the rest of this side put up, try to work on the other side, and hopefully the siding goes up a lot faster than the furring strips. Okay, well that's it for this side. So made pretty good progress. I think it really changes the look of the house for sure. So pretty excited to actually see how the front and the back look, especially when we get the stone put on the front. But yeah, made it across this way. Had to trim around my electrical box for the AC unit, so a couple little things there that could have been better, but I mean, this is a DIY project, so not too worried about it. I need to paint a couple pieces down there that I couldn't get with the roller on that LP Smart side. Move it along, had to break it on a half piece here, which for this half piece just put in like this little piece of sill trim here. I think I have a piece, this guy here. So this goes inside your J channel. This gives it a little bit more sturdy of a connection. And yeah, I think it came out nice. So just have to do this with the rest of the walls. I mean, this is the easiest one, so we'll see how those go, I guess. And then underneath the porch, we'll get a stone veneer, like a precision stack stone veneer. And yeah, that'll be it. So dark gray siding, black gutters, black roof. Still need to clean up all the dust and stuff, but yeah, let's move on to this other gable side, and we'll see how that one looks. Okay, so this is the side we're gonna start next. It'll be this gable side, because I already have the trim up. So we just did this side, as I showed you. So I have the corners up here already, my J channel on the top and the bottom. I'll still have to take off my dryer vent and get one without a screen on it. So this is just a standard generic one, it has a screen there. Not, I guess, that big of a deal since it's, you know, ground level and I can clean it out, but they do get clogged, so you shouldn't have a screen on there. Trim around my window here, my LP Smart side, got this painted black. Have to put a piece of trim here. And then I got my double J channel with the Z flashing up top there. I think it's 9'10" from this lower bottom one. I had to do a small step here, but I think it's 9'10" from this one up. So it should be roughly, I don't know, 9'6" from that one up. So these should go relatively quickly. We'll just put our 1.5" foam board in here, since these are the 2x4 side. And yeah, should be quick. Put my flashing up, or trim up around the window. I have a piece of window kick out flashing here to go above the, you see how that looks? I have a piece of this to go above my window here, just as some extra security there, but I had to put one more piece of 2x4 up there just to have a nailing surface on that. And yeah, should be good to go. So I will set you guys up for time lapse and we'll see how this changes the side of the house. Okay, so almost missed an important step here. Had to remember. But I hung this string line originally before I put the gable vent in, so it brought me down a nice plumb line. And I marked it every so many boards here. There's one behind here, here, just based off that string line. And that gets me a plumb line directly at the point of the gable. So with this board and batten siding, the usual method to hang it is either to have one batten fall right in the middle of the gable or split it perfectly with two. And since this wall isn't perfect and I don't think I'm going to be able to make one batten look perfect going all the way down, I'm going to split it with two. I think you get a little bit more forgiveness with that. So what I did was I put this one up, this little cutoff piece here, and just nailed it right on my line for the center. And then again, right on my line, I extended it down here on the bottom. And then if I take my level, put it on here. Got a good spot for it. You can see we are like right on plumb. Hard to tell from this side, but when I put it on the batten side, we're right on, but I already have my pieces hung up in here. So if I measure over from this edge of this batten all the way to the inside of my J channel, I have 117 inches. On this furring strip, 116 3/4, top furring strip, 116 1/2. So my corner is out just a little bit on the bottom, so the bottom is actually kicked out just a little bit, not perfectly plumb, because I know this piece is perfectly plumb, so I just plumbed it. So had to do a little bit of thinking here with this measurement, but for 117 inches across, and these pieces edge to edge are 6 7/8 inches. They say 7 inches, but it's not quite 7 inches. So 6 7/8 inches. So that means if I divide 117 by 6.875, which is a decimal of 6 7/8 inches, I get 17.02 pieces. So in a perfect world, if I use 17 full pieces here, it should line up, well, it will be a 1/4 inch off of the vertical gable here. So I think I can live with a 1/4 inch. So we'll have to cut this first piece square. So we'll take off that 1/2 inch from top to bottom, get it plumb in this side, get our piece of windowsill trim in there, and hopefully by the time we get 17 pieces over, we'll be perfectly in line with our gable, and I'll see how it works out. If not, I did something wrong, which is also very likely, but if you're seeing this now and you know I'm doing something wrong, just comment below and let me know. That way when I find out in a couple minutes, you'll have already seen it. Thanks. Okay, slight change of plans here because whenever I was going to put this corner piece here in, since this corner is out about a ½ inch from the bottom to the top, the reveal on the batten, so if I had the batten side in that channel, it looked terrible. So I'm going working left to right, so I have this batten. The batten is on this side, so it would have to be halfway underneath the corner trim here. So since I had to plumb this piece first, I had to cut ½ inch extra out of the bottom on an angle and work my way up. So now this side here on the left is, you know, it's right on plumb, so much better. However, if I did that with the batten side, the batten reveal would have still been, you know, kicked out to the side, and it would have been it would have looked weird with the straight line of the corner and the straight line of the batten not matching up. Like there would have been maybe a ½ inch batten on the top and like a full inch on the bottom, and it just looked weird. So ended up cutting off the whole batten from this side over, so starting from nothing and going down to ½ inch, and that way it fits in here behind the corner with my windowsill trim holding it in nicely, and then this side could be plumb, but you don't have any kind of reveal line here that could make it look strange. So the next one we'll go right up to it, and I think that looks a lot better than having a weird batten sticking out behind this corner. But that means I have to re-measure from the outside, and again, I'm not sure if this is right yet, but the outside of my center gable piece here to the inside of this groove right here. And so if I put my tape measure on this groove and come to the outside of my batten here, I have 111¼ all the way up from this furring, this furring, and this furring. So that made me feel better because we're plumb and we're not out by, you know, 116 3/4, 116½. So basically just made up that ½ inch with that first piece there. So that puts us at 111¼ and do some quick calculator math. Have 111¼ divided by 6.875 for the width of the batten, and that gets me 16 and a fraction of a batten. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do this now, because I might actually have to start this batten to where I get a perfectly fractional full batten in here. I'm going to think about this some more, because 0.18 times 6. Yeah, gonna be some more thinking on this one. So I'm gonna think about this for a second and then get back to you. Okay, so new plan for the new plan. Since this side, it wouldn't work out unless we like just dealt with this piece here, because we could either have done 16 pieces at 6 7/8 long, so that'd be 16 times 6.75, be 110 inches from that center batten to this line here. And of course this line here gives us, it fell on a full sheet in here, so it would never be able to work out, because we would have needed, if I can find a piece, a full sheet starting this way. So again, like I said before, I have that piece of windowsill trim in there, but full piece would have been half of a batten at the top up here, but then it would have had to come out like this, like a full batten, and I think that reveal would have looked terrible. Tried my best to plumb this corner up originally, but you know, it's not as easy as it seems. And then if I would go 17 battens, 17 pieces over, it lands right in the channel, which could work if I was able to go the opposite way and I could just cut off this last inch of piece here, but then I wouldn't be able to nail down to continue on to go to the left, so, or to the right. So had to take a second to trim out the window with some J-channel, because we're gonna do the same thing, but we're just gonna start from the right and work our way left, and then we'll end on that same like 90% of a piece, because the center should still line, like the pieces should still be the same to the left. So this does work if I'm coming from the right to the left like this, and then the last piece should fall somewhere right in here, where all I'll have to do is cut off that top little strip somewhere, and then I'll just cut this piece. You know, there'll be plumb coming over all the way, and then I'll just have to cut that 1/2 inch out of this corner piece. But I didn't want to start from the right if I could help it, because it's so much farther away, because not only do we have the gable, but then there was this 10-foot addition they did, so we're adding another 10 feet, and it's just harder to transfer the lines. But I haven't measured this one yet to see if it falls on a full piece or not. I guess hopefully not. Worst case, we could always just move it over to accept the full batten in the very middle, and that would put us on a 1/2 piece. But at the same time, I think that's going to be really hard to get to look nice and keep that vertical batten like perfectly centered and plumb. But we'll get this measured out, and we'll see about going from the right to the left. And once we start with that, it should go relatively quickly, but I don't know, we'll see. All right, let's see if we can get this measured. Okay, so quick update here. Measuring again from the right side here, you know, putting our tape measure all the way inside this piece here, coming over, measuring to this inside face here on this piece. We have 227 inches, and then, you know, we measured this next one up too on our furring strips, and that was the same exact thing. So this is plumb. That corner down there, hopefully is plumb. I mean, it measured to be plumb. So we have 227 inches divided by the width of our piece, which is 6.875, 6 7/8, and that puts us right at 33 pieces. So 33 pieces, and we actually have 0.02 of a piece left. So 0.02 times 6.875. That leaves us, we would be, you know, what is it, 1/8 of an inch? 0.125 is 1/8 of an inch, a little over 1/8 of an inch out. So I think, I mean, that's going to be as good as we're going to get. So it'll be 33 pieces from that end to here perfectly. So we should be able to get this to fit. And then as we move this way, we might have to trim just that little 1/4 inch off or whatever it is towards the corner. But all right, the window's trimmed out, everything's in, so we're gonna try to go with this and see how it falls. Just a quick one more quick detail. Did have this window trim flashing here underneath the window, and just put a little bit of caulking in the corner with a little water dam there. So hopefully that doesn't have any problems leaking. You know, just going off of what I've seen before. So yeah, let's get a time lapse going. We'll get this side trimmed out and siding up as much as we can, and we'll see how it changes. Okay, next update here. So this was actually going really well, and we were able to stay a lot more plumb because this corner was pretty much right on. Unfortunately, I put in like 4 pieces and didn't realize that I got hung up on a nail or something on the bottom, and it was out about 1/2 inch. So I had to take those back off, but we were only a couple pieces in. But we're right on now, nice and plumb here. I had that 6-foot level on it, but that should get us down to my dryer vent down here. And I forgot that I needed to order not only a black one, but one without an internal screen in there. So have that coming on the way. So that'll be a black, almost like a gooseneck looking straight down, but with no vent, just a flapper in there that opens and closes. You want to use the ventless ones for your dryer vents, since all that lint and stuff can get hung up on there. So I don't want to go too far yet with this, since I'll have to put J-channel around that and then flash around it too. So got up to this point, went really well. So once I get my vent in the next couple days, put that in, and then I have to get a 4-inch or 3-inch hole saw, I'm not sure yet, for my oven vent. My oven is in the kitchen, in the window right here, comes up through the roof, and then I'll either come out probably just below the trim right there. If I can squeeze it in to the left or the right of the window, that way it's not directly above it, I think that would be better. Probably end up coming over here to the left side of the window, somewhere in this spot. Just drill a hole, plumb hard line. You don't want to use flex line for that. Hard line, hard HVAC line all the way out, and then that can be a little flapper just like that one. But I'll either get a black one or a color match with this Manor color. So since we're kind of stuck here and getting in the sun a little bit, we're gonna switch gears and go work on the other side. I don't know if you guys can see this, but one, not a big pain, but something, is with these ram sets, they have these little blue holds whenever you are putting them in the gun. So if you don't pull these off whenever you're done, they get jammed up behind the siding and makes it not sit quite flush. So good practice here is to kind of pull these off. Okay, well that's one corner down. So I've noticed with the other sides that a good corner, nice and plumb, really helps with the start. Really helps start you off good. So just gonna do this on the other side. So I have one more corner down there. But now that this corner's on, I can actually put my trim up on the inside here and finish this wall here. Run my trim on the top, and hopefully everything will go well. This one, again, just you want to follow the directions that come in the box, so you're not nailing these nails actually 100% through. You're letting it be able to float up and down. First nail you put it at the top, the rest are in the middle. So that's just simple part of the vinyl. So it's in the directions, and this isn't really like a how-to video for sure, but this is more of a this is how I'm doing it. So yeah, we're gonna get this corner trim up and get the rest of the J-channel up, and catch up with you then. well, I'm officially lost track of how many days we've been working on this project, but at least it's cool today. So nice Saturday morning here. It's supposed to rain all day, so we'll probably just see what we can get done in between the thunderstorms. So we're gonna be back on this side again. So we got all the furring strips done on the lower side last time, and I started putting up the trim work. So the trim work is mostly done. There's just about a 10-foot span that I couldn't get to because of surprise wasp's nest, and I didn't have any spray. So we're gonna work on this side. The new oven, or the new dryer vent came in, so just got this generic one here from Amazon, but it's black. And the important thing is it does not have a screen in there. It's just a open flap. What? Oh, yeah, figures. That's all right. Always plenty to do. Always plenty to do. Check that on the inside for a minute. Okay, so I just need to extend this about 3 inches on the inside of the house there. So I just have this standard HVAC duct here. So I'm just going to cut off 3 inches of this or so. That should be enough to get that into my bathroom, so I can hook up the dryer a little better. And just a rough idea here is fine. Something like this will work. Slide this in here since it's crimped already. And some tape while we can. This install it in here, flash it a little bit, trim, and we're good to go. Looking pretty decent. Trim, get some flashing on here just for good measure. Okay, well, we're coming up on our center point here, so figured I'd share this with you guys, see how close we are. I have not measured this yet. But we'll grab a couple pieces here. I'm not confident, but we'll see. Because I did measure this out, it should have been just a quarter inch out from what this is, perfectly centered. And my thought was no one's going to see a quarter inch, so. Probably closer to 2 inches off, so not exactly what I was going for, but not the end of the world. Definitely mismeasured something somewhere, so just have to pay more attention on the other side, and we'll try and get it centered for second try. But yeah, it won't look too bad. I mean, obviously you wanted it to be centered, but I'm definitely not going to change this now. So we'll get the rest of these put up and just see how close we are whenever they're actually up, and give you a little overview once we're finished. Okay, so I'm trying to see where I measured differently so I can get this right for the other side. But so I used the 6.875 as the 6 7/8 dimension from the siding that I showed you before. So but even though that was 6.875, I noticed that between any random 8 panels I have, and I just picked 8 arbitrarily, a couple decent numbers, center to center distance is 55.5. And so if I pick any other 8, center distance is always, center to center of Batten is 55.5. So 55.5 divided by 8 gives me like 6.93, almost 7. So I probably should have used 7 inches instead of the 6.875, because I think as I was going through that 1/8 of an inch across, I don't know what we have here, maybe 20 battens or so, threw me off from my center line. So on the other side, we'll try to use 7 inches as our starting dimension and see how that works out. But even from this, I mean, it's hard to tell because until we get the gable all the way up done to see just exactly how close we are. But I mean, I can see that we're closer to centering it on this batten here than we are actually centering it here on the gable where I wanted it to. So ideally this whole thing will be shifted to the right about 3 to 4 inches, but yeah, that's okay. First time doing this vertical board and batten, so yeah, that's why this is DIY, and I can live with it. So not the biggest thing, but I know I'll notice it all the time at least. The only other thing, there was a little bit of a bump here on the window. It's definitely easier to see in the video than it is in person here. Just where the bottom didn't quite line up, like this batten under the window didn't exactly line up with this one. This one's in about maybe 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. So this piece, as it came up, had to kind of turn this way. So small wave in there, but it is behind the windowsill channel pretty good. I'm not too worried about it other than a slight looks thing. So we were able to pull it back into plumb within the next 2 after that. And we're just trying to finish up this wall here, and then we'll do the gable up top of here. Should be a couple interesting cuts there, and then start working on the other side. So making some decent progress. A few challenges here and there, but for the most part, since it's a cool day and this is going better than the furring strips, we've actually started to make some progress. It looks like something. So I'm gonna keep on the time lapse and catch up with you at the end. Okay, so before I forget, because I keep putting it in the back of my mind, I need to drill the hole for my oven vent. So I have a couple pieces of pipe here. I don't have the oven vent installed yet, but eventually it'll be right on this wall, probably about right in here on the inside. And I'm just gonna plumb it out through the roof up here. I don't want to put it directly above my window. I don't know, just, I don't know, maybe looks or just the hot air blowing down, but I'm gonna try to put it probably right somewhere where the ladder is there. That way it's kind of out of the way, but also somewhat close by and easy to get to when I'm in the attic. So I'm gonna go up here, get this cut, and of course this is a 4-inch pipe, I believe, and this is a 4.5 inch hole saw, and just one-handed here. See that this pretty much fits right on. I mean, 4 1/8 would be pretty good. Maybe 4 1/4 might be right on, but 4.5 gives me a little bit of room to work, and then I will put my vents in and then be able to flash around it or whatever I need to do. So, alrighty, strut. Oh. So I know my stud is where I put my nails. So I have a stud here and a stud here on my tape. So I'm just gonna put this thing right in here, and that way should be able to access it pretty easily, and it'll be out of the way. So let's see here. Fingers crossed I don't hit a stud. Of course.
What happened?
I hit a stud. Okay, so I just had to put a couple nails back in this to put it back on. I'm just gonna drill a new hole here. So take 2 on this. See how this one goes. Hopefully I won't hit a stud this time. Much better. All right, well, it should have been that first time, but it's good enough for now. And then I'll just put a little piece of wood back here to like a little backer, and then zip tape this back and have a spot for my vent now. So looks good. All right, so starting to get in the sun now. It's about 1:30, so sun's starting to hit us, getting a little hot, but we have the bottom side of the first side done here. So it's an exciting milestone. So stand back here and kind of take a look. It's still dirty, so I think the last thing I'll do is try to pressure wash the whole thing, because there's a little bit of foam and everything all over it and pieces of cut material. So now we're just going to work on this little bit of the gable up top, and that should really tie everything together. So I have our window with our black trim, our black vent for the dryer. I have a hole cut here for the oven vent whenever I get that in, and that'll be a black little flapper from any big box store. They're pretty common. So yeah, not too bad. So like I said, really wanted, I don't know if you could see it from this far back here, but really wanted this batten here to split the gable. So perfectly straight from the gable corner peak down, should have split the two battens, but it's probably about 2 inches off. So not a huge deal, but something I'll notice, and it's good craftsmanship to have gotten that right. But I'll try better on the next time, on the next side here. So okay, so we're gonna get this last bit of the top gable done. I think I just have to put some sill trim around the vent there, the gable vent, and then I'll put in, I have a white vent for now, so I'll put that in just temporarily until I can get my black vent in, and then I will just replace it real quick one day whenever I get that in. But yeah, it's looking really good so far. Finally happy to see something that looks like progress. So we'll get this finished up, and then we'll be starting on the other side. All right. Okay, well that's it. So got all of our pieces in. The top, it was a little bit harder to keep them perfectly aligned than I thought. We did a pretty good job. I mean, it's not noticeable, but I can tell that, like, when I'm really close and looking at it, some of them are, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch off or so, not exactly plumb. So, I mean, it's no one who's not looking at it too closely is ever going to see it. But and all the way across, we have our gable. I still have to put my vent back up there, and then got the trim work around the gable vent there. Just need to put my fan cover on, and it's covered in a little bit of insulation and some cut marks from the or some dust from the other vinyl. But man, it came out really nice. You know, definitely changes the look of the house. Really worth the effort so far. Just hope the front and the sides look just as good. I'm sure they will, but it'll be nice to see the final product. And we'll go from there. But I mean, this side came out really nice. So looking forward to doing the other side next. And then the front, we still have to pull our windows out, get those flush, and then put our exterior cement board down so the stonework can be done. But yeah, we'll probably end up doing that either tomorrow or another day during the week, because yeah, today's pretty much done. Definitely worked long enough today. So the only detail that is going to kill me, but isn't that big of a deal, is that gable vent. The gable didn't align perfectly with the space between the battens, so a couple inches off there, but just a visual thing, doesn't make much of a difference. But to me, I feel like that's one detail that shows that you know what you're doing. So maybe we'll get it right on the other side, but we'll see. All right, well, I'm going to clean up for a little bit, and I'll catch you when we do the other side. Thanks.